Just a quick introduction, who I am. My name is Anthony. I work here at Orange County Realtors. Been here now a little over 16 years. Started off in the MLS department, so I know guaranteed I'll speak to all of you in this room at some point in time regarding rules, regulations, violations, things like that. What I'm also involved with is our outreach program. Our outreach program is designed to give you training on all your tools and products. So not only do I give training at the offices for MLS, like how to run searches, how to modify listings, how to create CMAs, plus all the other fun tools and products that CRMLS does also give to you or offer to you for being a CRMLS member. But I also train on zipForms. So I do believe in mid-March we do have a zipForms class in our Laguna Hills office on 101 basics, digitally signing contracts, plus all the advanced tools that zipForms offers. And we also offer that here. But I also train on the technology. My job is to make you the 21st century agent, and what I mean by that typically is to help you go paperless in your business. Okay? Maybe not get rid of it fully, but enough of it to make your lives a lot more efficient, right? You have your phone devices with you nowadays. Some of us in the room have a tablet device, things like that. So my job is to show you how easy this type of information and this type of technology is for you. Okay? Now, the first class that we're going over today, hey Tina, our first class that we're going over today basically is just to go over the bread and butter products. So what we're going to do is we're going to be able to access MLS, and those of you who haven't logged in yet, you will, right? How to access our MLS on our mobile device, okay, to be able to find information quickly and easily for our clients. Then I'm going to give you some quick tools on when you're able to show a property, how not to get around or how to get around printing out reports of the properties that you want to show. And again, my job is to make you go paperless. Second thing that we're going to go over today, our big thing, zipForms access. How to be able to write up and most importantly, sign contracts on the dotted line using our tablet mobile devices. Okay? So that we can strike while the iron's hot with our clients. Okay? Anybody ready for that? Now, by the way, our second class today, starting at 1:30, we'll go over cloud storage and cybersecurity, things that we're probably utilizing or not being aware of. I know a lot of people go, well, what's the cloud? What is the term the cloud? We'll go over those. Some of the basic things, how to sign up for a basic service with Dropbox. Then we jump into cybersecurity and protection that we need to think about as real estate agents, as realtors, because we do have some fiduciary duty to our business, not just to our clients, but to our business, to make sure that certain information, or actually all information that we're given, is protected. Okay? We're going to go over some of those steps. Our third class today, as we were just talking about, is all about how to utilize our technology tool belt using third-party applications to be able to make our business more efficient. So we're going to go over at least 3 or 4 different apps in that class to make you a lot more efficient in your business. So if I'm lucky to have you all day long, awesome. You know, we will have breaks in between throughout our different classes. If you're not here today, all day, not a problem. We do have that class here in Fountain Valley every other month, or if you like to go between here and Laguna Hills, we do have this class every month at both the office locations, okay? All right, so let's get started. Now, what I love about our MLS system, why I love our Matrix MLS system, is that not only is it computer friendly, meaning I can log into the MLS using a PC or a Mac device, but it's also browser friendly, meaning that I can utilize the MLS on Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, if I think Mozilla Firefox still exists, and of course Safari. But not only is it these types of browser friendly, it's also computer friendly, but it's also mobile friendly, meaning that I can now go on my mobile tablet or phone device and be able to log into the MLS. Now, how many of you in this room have an iPhone? A majority of everybody, right? Anybody here with an Android phone? One person, okay. So we're going to talk a little bit differently, but it's going to be the same thing. Where it all comes down to is being able to access the internet. I know there are tons of apps out there that we can download as agents to be able to get MLS information, right? But I know things like HomeSnap, Home Seekers, MLS Touch, right? But the problem with those apps is that they're only search-only apps. right? One of the things that we as agents need to do is be able to do our normal business, right? Like maybe set up auto emails, add and modify listings, access our saved searches, things like that. So here, what we're going to do, if we're an iPhone user, we're going to go into Safari. If you're an Android user, you're just going to go into your phone and you're going to go to your web browser. Okay? Now, from here, and by the way, if I talk too fast, I apologize. Right? I've had some energy drinks this morning. Basically, my wife gave me a nice little healthy energy drink, which is great. It's kind of got me a little hyped up. I'm always hyped up for my classes anyway. You are my 10,000th class that I have taught this to, so it's very routine for me. If I do go over something too quickly, please raise your hand, stop me. I'll be more than happy to go over it time and time again. Also, by the way, if you want on your phone devices, activate your voice memo. So iPhone users, you have an app on your iPhone called Voice Memo. Go there, hit a recording, record our audio today. That way you can always replay it later on. Listen to this time and time again. That way you can go and with your notes. If you're an Android user, you should have a voice recorder. If you don't, download it from your Play Store. And again, record our session. I am totally fine with a recorded session. Okay? So I give you that permission. If not, feel free to friend me on Facebook. We are doing a Facebook Live today, so that should be there in my news feed for you to also go through. My Facebook is Anthony Bried. ANTHONYBRIED. Feel free to friend me, and then that way you can access the news feed. And then hopefully I'll also put this on my YouTube channel as well from today's class.
Thank you.
Okay? All right. So what we're going to do, iPhone, iPad users, we're going to go to Safari. Android users, you're going to go to your web browser. When we open up the web, all we're going to simply do is go to www.crmls.org. When we go here, you're going to notice that we're right at CRMLS's Matrix's website. Okay, looks no different because I'm on a tablet device. If you're on a phone device trying to access the MLS, at the very top where you see these menu choices like Solutions, Education, Support, that's all going to be hidden under 3 lines over to the far right. Tap on those 3 lines to look at those different menu choices. Now, from here, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you tap on where it says, hopefully if I can expand this, MLS Login. When I have you tap on MLS Login, you're going to see your login area for MLS. Now, before you type in your username and password for the MLS, stop. We're going to bookmark this, but we're going to bookmark it in such a fashion to make it look like an application on our phone or a tablet device. How we do this, iPhone, iPad users, we're going to look for the web address, and right next to the web address, if you're on an iPad, look for the box with the arrow coming out of it. This is called the magic button or share button. You see this through all of Apple's products, right? If you're on a phone device, that button will appear in the bottom middle. Okay? Now, when we tap on that box with the arrow coming out of it, we're going to get a list of menu choices down at the bottom. Our normal instinct is to choose either add to bookmark or add to favorites, right? Like we would any other website. Stop. Don't do that. Instead, you're going to move your finger across this menu choice at the bottom to where it says add to home screen. When I select add to home screen here, I now have a nice little icon that will appear on my phone or tablet device's home screen. Next to that, in black letters, says CRMLS Matrix. Now, we can rename this if we choose. Simply tap where it says CRMLS Matrix, get your cursor to blink, and now you can name this website whatever you want, or this bookmark. You can call it MLS, you can call it Matrix, you can call it CRMLS, whatever. Once you've named it, then you're going to simply choose Add. Once you hit Add, now you're going to be taken back to your home screen. And on your home screen, you now have an icon that looks like an app. So what we have essentially done is bookmark the login section at Matrix. So when we tap on this app-looking application, we are now taken immediately to the login areas where we can now log in. Now, Android user, what you do, next to the web address, you have 3 dots here on an Android phone. When you tap on the 3 dots on an Android phone, you have a choice that says add shortcut to home screen. When you choose that, it immediately puts a nice little flag on your home screen, just like it did here. It doesn't look like the application, but it does kind of the same thing. Adds a little flag and says CRMLS matrix. So you can do that just the same. So, after you've done that, go back into your little login, and from here what we're going to do is now type in our username and password for the MLS. Now I know some of you in this room haven't even logged into the MLS yet. That's okay. Once you get, in a couple of hours, for you young lady, just because you just joined, you'll be able to log into the MLS, create your password, and then you'll be able to do exactly and see exactly what I see.
Excuse me.
Yes?
So I have to go to the NAR?
No. You're going to CRMLS.org. So you're logging into the MLS. So right now we're starting off with the MLS access.
Okay,
so did you already do this?
Yes.
So on your phone.
Okay. I thought I did. Okay, thank you.
You are. So now what we're going to do is we're going to type in our username and our password for MLS. And now you'll see here on my iPad device, when I go to Matrix, eventually, this looks exactly what I see on a computer, right? Now, if you're on a phone device, what immediately starts up first is a search-only portal, right? There you'll see search for residential, you'll see some buttons, first and foremost, because what they've done is they take the Matrix login for the phone device and shortened it up to be a search-only engine. But what you want to do, scroll down to the bottom, and at the very bottom will say full site. If you click on or tap on full site, you will get to this. Now, granted, on a phone, it's going to be really super small, but you can always pinch out to make it bigger for you to view. So what's nice about things like this, so you logged in. Right? So Matrix. Now this will start up the mobile, oh, there it goes. So you're right there. Oh, so did you go to the 3 lines, Matrix login, from here, box with the arrow, add to home screen.
Oh yeah, right.
And there it is. And then you hit add. So you bookmark a different portion of the website. You are. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so Matrix login or MLS login. Now from here, when you get this,
My username and my password.
that's okay. Before you type it in, we're going to bookmark it, right?
Oh, okay.
So eventually when it comes up,
You said that.
the 3 dots,
And the add shortcut.
yep, add to home screen. So
Oh,
there,
the home screen.
and then you say add.
Okay.
And now
Great,
you can
thank
log in.
Hi,
Yes,
Anthony.
ma'am.
I'm already logged in, and you said that go to full.
No, you're already in the MLS full.
Oh, okay.
So you're fine.
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
It looks like they got rid of that portion right away, which is
Oh,
good.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Now, you haven't been able to log in yet just because you haven't activated your IDs yet, okay? All right. So what's this mean for us? That means that now on our mobile devices, we can access the full-on MLS system, right? We can create a search. We can add and modify our listings, right? So add a new listing because we got a listing agreement just now. Or maybe I have an existing listing. I can go in here on my phone device, right? I can even, when I bring up searches, create an auto email. So now we can do everything like we can without having to be in front of our computer. So, what does this mean for us? It means that we can now be on the go and be able to access the MLS data when we need it, right? So, one feature that we're going to go over today in great detail, in about 10 or 15 minutes, the speed bar. The speed bar here is found under all the menu choices in your MLS. The speed bar has been here since 16 years. What this allows you to do is type in very quick search criteria very quickly without having to go under search and choose residential, detail, and fill in every field. Right? Now, why is this good? Well, how many of you have ever gotten an internet lead? Seasoned agents, anybody? Never ever? Well, today's leads, right? Because maybe somebody's found something on some sort of property website like Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever, and they call you up and say, hey, can you tell me about this property? Right?
Yeah, I have.
Now, what some agents are doing, and maybe you are at Starbucks getting your morning started, right? You're there in line, you're ready to order your venti iced, non-fat, white chocolate mocha, no whip because it's a Thursday, not a Friday. Right? You gotta still keep your looking in great shape. And you get a call from this potential lead that tells you, hey, can you find me this property information? Now, what a lot of agents are doing is they're saying, okay, not a problem. Let me get back to my office. I'll look that information up for you. 10, 15, 30 minutes later, they get back to the office. They try to give that lead a call, and all of a sudden, that lead never picks up.
Right.
Why? It's because that lead, if you couldn't give them the information, has called 5 or 6 other agents during that time. Now, crazy enough, today's internet leads want a turnaround time of information of less than 30 seconds. If you can't give information to a potential lead or to a potential buyer or seller of information in less than 30 seconds, they're off to somebody else. Mm-hmm. So, because we can now log into our MLS system on our mobile devices, we now, while our coffee's being made, can sit down at that nice comfy couch in Starbucks or a place like that, log in, and be able to look up information. Now, instead of me having to go over to the search button, to now tap on search, go to residential, go to detailed, and put in information, what I'm now going to do instead is go right here to the speed bar. Now, typically in the speed bar, maybe the client or potential client tells me a property address. Maybe they say, Tony, can you tell me anything about 1600 White Oak? Here, if I just type in the street number and the street name and I hit go, and hopefully this will work, I've now told the MLS system to look for everything related to 1600 White Oak, current and past. Here we've brought up 7 different properties, 1 active, couple of sold, couple expired, few canceled, in various different, well, in this case, all in Costa Mesa, at various different times, looking back in our MLS database going back close to 20 years. Now we find that one particular listing that we need to look at, we can now simply tap on it and be able to open up the agent full report about this listing, right? Hopefully. There it goes. We can look at all the photos, look at the agent remarks, the whole 9 yards. Now, what happens, or Tina, I know you're a very seasoned agent as well. You probably get a lot of leads all the time. How often when you get an internet lead, when you pull up the property, is the property not active? Maybe it's impending, or it's active under contract, or backup, or it's sold, or it was canceled. Any of those?
Yes.
Yes, a lot of times, right? Especially when they go to certain internet websites and their information's off by 20 or 30%, and all of its data and its estimations, which is a lot, right? Even though, hey, it's on the internet, it's got to be true. Not necessarily. This is why people need to use you as an agent, right? Because you have access to the most accurate information at all times because you are a MLS member.
Question, Anthony. If I have a client in San Jose, can I get the info by?
No, because unless we have, well, actually, I think San Jose does share their MLS data with us now.
Yeah.
So yes, you should be able to look at that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of the many regions I do believe that CRMLS does cover is Northern California.
Well, I have
Not
to go
all
to
of it
link.
yet, but parts of it.
Yeah.
And I think San Jose is one of those.
Yeah. Okay, great.
But in cases like maybe this, we don't have an active listing. Does that mean our phone conversation ends with this person?
No.
Hopefully not, right? Knock on wood. So we're going to utilize the speed bar for a regular search. So here in the speed bar, maybe the client has told me that they want to look for active homes in, say, I don't know, Huntington Beach. They have a price range of about $850,000 to $950,000. And of course, they only want to see single-family properties or single-family residents. Here we can put in some quick search criteria, and now when I hit go, we've pulled up 23 properties that meet their search criteria. So now, I can either A, select certain properties.
Could you just put in HB instead of Huntington Beach?
Nope, I typed in Huntington Beach entirely. You have to put in that full city, okay? Or the full city name. Now from here, because I'm in the MLS system, maybe I select the certain properties and under actions, email them the selected properties. Or B, maybe I go under save and set them up on an auto email based on their criteria, right?
Yeah.
Or C, I go through the listings and start setting up showing appointments for this brand new client to get them out there to see some of these homes. The idea again is I am now able to give them or do my business anywhere. So now when I got my coffee and I can sit in that nice comfy leather couch, I can now pull up the data and do what I need to do my business, right? So, with the speed bar, a lot of agents ask, well, Tony, does it matter the order in which I type this information in, right? No, but it does matter the format. If you'll notice here in the format, I have A for active. I typed in the full name of Huntington Beach. I put a $sign in front of the amount of money, and of course I put in SFR. Well, how do I know what type of format of information to put in? Has anybody ever done a search in the MLS?
Yes.
A couple of you, right? Now, you ever notice that question mark next to every searchable field when you go and run a search? Tina, you're giving me that look like
Yeah.
you don't know what I'm talking about?
No,
Here.
I forgot.
When I go to run a search in the MLS, you'll notice that next to every searchable field, there's a question mark. Anybody know what this question mark is?
Descriptions?
Description or a help button,
Oh,
right?
oh,
That help button basically tells me what I need to type in, how to type it in into that field, right? Well, if we look at this speed bar, there's a question mark right there in that
Oh, yeah,
speed
yeah,
bar.
I remember. Yes.
So if I tap this question mark next to the speed bar, a new little window opens up, and now I get to see all the different types of information that I can type into that speed bar.
Okay.
Now you can type in 23 different pieces of information into that speed bar. Now, my disclaimer, do I expect every agent in this room to memorize all 23 different pieces of formatted information?
No.
Heck no. I don't even know all 23. But maybe your top 5. Top 5 may be address, MLS number, status, city, and price. Those are typically the big 5 things that you guys need in order to find properties quickly and easily for a client, right? As an example, here under our status, we got A for active, P for pending, U for active under contract, which is backup, S for closed, L for leased, expired, canceled, so on and so forth. Now I can put in the multiple statuses, just do spaces in between, like A space, U space, P space, S space. For your dollars, like your list price, just so you know, you just need $1 in front of the first number. Excuse me. Most agents make the mistake of putting in $2 signs.
$1.
And the system goes, well, I don't understand what you mean. Are you looking for 2 different list prices? Whatever, right? But we can do our range, we can do our plus, our minus, above or below, what we're looking for. We just need that $1 sign. If we don't have that $sign, the system won't understand if we're talking about list price, if we're talking about bedroom, bathroom, or square footage. So that format is important. Now, when it comes to the city, right, we have to type in the name of the full city. But this is where we need to be careful on limiting how many cities we type in. Here, at least in Orange County, we have a lot of cities that are either one named up to 3 different names, right? Like Corona Del Mar, or Tustin, or Irvine, or Rancho Santa Margarita, right? If we're putting in multiple name cities, even though we're putting in our spaces, if we have too many, sometimes the speed bar will group that 3-name city as a 2-name city. So if I put in, say, Irvine and Rancho Santa Margarita and Mission Viejo and Tustin, as an example, sometimes what will probably happen is that the cities will be grouped as 2 names. So it might think Rancho Santa Margarita Irvine, right? So limit the number of cities that you put in. I would say no more than 3. Okay? Just no more than 3. Yes, ma'am.
When you put the criteria to look for it, you put a Huntington Beach.
I put in A
Uh-huh.
space, sorry, A space, Huntington Beach,
And then-
space,
Uh-huh.
dollar,
Uh-huh.
850000,
No comma.
no comma.
Okay. Can you put commas? Or
No, because then it's thinking I'm separating out
Okay.
the 2 different
Yeah,
numbers.
And then dash.
Dash 950000.
Okay.
Space,
Dollars.
nope,
No.
just no space between the dollar and the number, just $1 in front of the very first number.
Oh, okay.
Because the system now knows I'm looking for either the list price or the closed price.
Okay.
And if I have A, now it says, oh, you're looking for active list price.
We have to have a
Okay.
daughter site.
If you don't, then are you talking about dates? Are you talking about square footage? So can you imagine a property at 850,000 square feet? I don't know of any property that's at 850,000 square foot.
It's not working.
Not yet.
So can you put sold as, and then?
Space,
And
dollar sign,
dollar sign.
and then the price.
What about the range, the time frame, like last year, how many? between-
Yeah, they do have a date. They do have a date, and I think it goes by list date.
Oh, let's stay.
So you got to know, your list date range, not necessarily the close dates.
Oh, and between the numbers and the dash, it has to be together. You cannot put a space.
Correct.
Okay, now it works.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you did put a space in between the dash,
Yes.
then it doesn't understand what that dash is for.
Okay.
And if you put
So no sign on the second and not a space.
correct,
But it's very difficult to see the numbers.
of course. So on your phone, press your fingers in and push out.
Yeah, it's just.
On a phone, it is difficult,
Yes,
right? Because your
it is.
phone screen is only so big. That's why I love using it on a tablet. So if you're
Yes.
thinking about a tablet,
I have one.
it's easier to see.
Okay.
Okay?
So only dollar sign, $1 sign, not.
Correct.
Yeah, the first one,
The first one.
Okay.
And then not a space in between the dash.
No space in between the dash. So dollar sign, number, dash, next number, no space. Okay.
Great. Thank
Anybody
you.
like the speed bar? Anybody using the speed bar right now? Doesn't look like it, right? So yay, I've shown you something new with
Great,
MLS.
yes.
Great for you and great for you when you start playing around with stuff, right? All right. Now, next thing that we're going to go over, showings. How many of you actually show property? Great, excellent. Right. Now, when it comes to showing property, what's one of the many things that you all take with you at showing a property? Probably what?
Description.
Besides your
The
key,
printout.
besides yourself, besides your car keys, you probably do those printouts, right?
Yeah, the description of the product.
Description of the property, this, that, and the other, right? You go in, you click on a listing, maybe you do a printout with photos, and the photos are 75 photos to that listing. Now when you go to print it out, it's 7 pages long. You do this for 7 or 8 properties, now you're looking at what? Half a ream of paper that you're
Yeah.
carrying with you at an appointment, right?
Great.
Now, if you guys remember what we were trying to talk about before, my job is to help you go paper less, right? This is where we're going to utilize a feature in our MLS system called carts. Now, the carts feature in the MLS was originally designed as a watch list, meaning that you found a property that didn't overly meet your criteria for your client, but you wanted to keep an eye on it, right? So you could add that or select that property and add it to their cart for them to keep an eye on. Now, today, with your mobile access, what we're going to utilize our carts for is our showings. Okay? We want to be able to not have to worry about making out all those printouts. So, maybe we pull up the properties for the client, we have those properties selected because they gave us maybe the list of MLS numbers that they liked from our auto email. Here, I want to see the following properties, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right down the list. We put those MLS numbers in the speed bar, we pull up those properties, we now make our showing appointments, right? We tap on the MLS listing, contact the listing agent, or maybe we go down below, go to showing time, and set up our showings in less than 2 minutes. Now, typically, with the properties selected, you would come down below here, and under actions, go to print the agent full for yourself, and now with those 8 properties at 7 pages, we've got 56 sheets of paper that we now have to carry around with us, right? Instead, with those properties selected here in our results screen, we're going to come next to actions to where it says carts. When we tap on where it says carts, we are defaulted to put those listings into my cart, which there's no problem with that. You could do that, but you want to put it in your client's cart. 2 reasons, or actually 1 big reason. What happens if you have multiple showings today? If you put all those showings in your own cart, you've got to now try to remember which properties were for which client, right? So very easily add it to your client's cart. Now, if this client is a brand new client that I just talked to over the phone, next to my listing says new contact. If I tap on where it says new contact here, I just now need to put in the 3 vital pieces of information: their first name, their last name, and their email address. Those are the big 3 things that we need in order to work with a client, right? Got to know their first name and last name. Why? Because we're probably going to write up contracts for this person. So we need to have their first name and last name on a contract. Not to mention, if I do send out auto emails to them, their last name that appears, Anthony Zillow lead, does that look professional?
No.
Means that I don't care about the client, right? Get their last name. Got to get their email address. Why? Because it's our job to be able to email information to the client. That's why they're coming to us, to get information from us. So they got to give us our email, or their email, so I can email them the proper information. Whether it's an auto email, direct email, whatever, from the MLS system. Okay? Now, if you have a client that's refusing to give you email, guess what? They're probably not a realistic client. Not too long ago, I had an agent sit in this class and argue with me about, well, they just refuse to give me the emails, but I still want to work with them. Well, how do you get them information, sir? Well, that's what I'm confused about. Well, they got to give you an email,
Yeah.
but they don't want to. Then
He's
why are you
wasting
working
his
with them?
time.
Yeah, wasting time.
It's a waste of your time.
Yeah.
Be mindful of that, right? If you have a client that's refusing to give you at least the bare essentials in order for you to help them out, they're probably they're not realistic. Okay? So at least if you can get those 3 bits of information from a client to help them see the properties and things like that, that makes your job that much easier. Okay? Once you put in this information and you hit save, they are now going to be added into your list of contacts. So now what you do is you hit the down arrow next to where it says my listing, or my listings for the contact, and now what we can do is look at our full contact list. So now what we can do is select, and let me find hopefully somebody. Let's go with Bugs. Select that client, and now I'm going to say add to cart. So now I've added those 8 properties to Bugs Bunny's cart. Now, come the next day, I get ready to meet Bugs at the property. I log into the MLS system, and here under the home screen, I moved it by mistake. I have a widget on my home screen called My Carts. Under My Carts are the list of my clients with all their properties that I put into their carts. Yes, ma'am.
I just had a quick question right when you exited that previous screen where you added to the cart. This is the kind of challenge that I have with this system is like there's no like enter or save or it seems like it's automatically done, right?
It's automatically done.
So then I can just go to another screen and it'll be remembered.
Yep.
Okay, I don't have to save.
Just like I did here. I just went to
Yeah,
another
that's what I
screen.
exactly. That's what I just noticed. Okay.
So, yeah, you don't have to go through the redundancy of, did I hit save? Did I do this? Once you hit add to cart, it's automatically there and it will stay there until you do other things.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
I have old contact before. If I click the card, nothing there. I have to create the card at that
No.
time, right?
All you have to do is have the contact. So every contact you have in the MLS has the capability of having their own cart. So if you put that information into a client's cart, it's there.
Yeah, I tried to click the contact. I do have a lot of contact here, but nothing come out. That's why I'm thinking.
So when you click on the contact, did you choose add to cart?
Yeah.
You did. You're sure? Because when you hit add to cart, did you select, did you select the properties?
I did.
So you selected a few properties from your property list. You went down below and went under carts.
Yes.
You selected the client, and then over to the left, you hit add to cart.
Add to cart.
Add to
After
cart.
you select
Now
the
those selected properties, that person now will have a number immediately appear. So it'll go from 0 to whatever number you selected.
the number of properties.
The number of properties
And then
I
if you go to
selected.
my cart, it's gonna be the name like that and the properties.
Back on the home screen at this point. So did it work?
No, let's see, but we can do later.
We can play with it at break.
Yeah.
Okay? So now, come tomorrow. I meet the client at a property, right? We go into My Carts, or we go into the MLS. We go under the widget called My Carts, and now I select the client. When I select the client, now their cart opens up, and now here are the properties that my client has in their cart. Now, two things before we go any further. How many of you who have printed out those printouts have shown a property to a client? Client got super excited about wanting to make an offer. You contacted the listing agent to discuss about the terms of the offer that you're about to submit, and they end up telling you what? Property went into escrow today,
Yeah,
right?
right.
We actually changed it to pending, or maybe we put it on hold, or hey, our contract was canceled today.
Right.
Wouldn't that have been great to know at the time that you were about to show the property?
Yes.
Well, because I'm in the MLS, I am now accessing lifetime data. So if an agent changes their listing in the MLS, I'll see if there was a status change between yesterday and today. Right away. If that listing went from active immediately to pending, that means that they're not entertaining any other offers. I shouldn't be showing it. Guess what? It's off our list of showings today. I also get to see
Cancel.
if there was a price change
Okay.
between yesterday and today, indicated by what? The up and down arrows. If I happen to see that the arrow went down between yesterday and today, hey, they just had a price reduction.
Okay.
So I'm accessing lifetime data. If the arrow went up, that means that the seller has just increased their list price, which that happens every once in a while.
It does?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Sometimes. Especially if it's a short sale, right? Maybe the bank says, nope, we'll accept this offer. Now all of a sudden you got a price increase, right? Happens. So right away, just being in the MLS, I get to see lifetime data for my showings between yesterday and today. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, I got to have the whole property report, right? Well, guess what? You're logged into the MLS under your IDs. You can now just simply tap on the MLS listing and have access to the agent full report without having to print out those sheets of paper.
Yeah.
Especially hey, this property's got 75 plus photos. We can come all the way down to the bottom of the listing, and now we can click on where it says photos, click on the arrow to expand out the photo list.
That's great.
All the way down at the bottom of a listing, under photos, you click on the arrow to display all the photos that this listing has. So again, we have access to look at everything without having to carry a stack of stuff.
That's good. That's
Yes.
Yes.
So, you're in an area and you don't have internet access.
We're going to go over that in just a few minutes. Because yes, that does tend to happen here in the state of California, right? Now, a couple of other cool things real quickly. Eventually, if I don't lose my thing. Now, I put the properties in my client's cart. Now, maybe my client's getting an auto email, right? If they get an auto email, they have access to what they call the portal. The portal allows the client to have access into the MLS to look at the customer report, right? If I put listings in the client's cart, these listings will also show up in their portal. So even if it wasn't a property that was emailed to them through an auto email, if I found a property and I put it in their cart, now it's also available in their portal. Which means what? They have access to the client reports. They can look at the brief report, thumbnail report, or even better yet, the customer full report. Which doesn't display what? All the private information, right? Like showing instructions and things like that that clients have to use us because they're getting the information from us. Right? We don't want them to see other information because we should be already disclosing that to them. But again, we don't have to now print out a customer report for the client because this is in their portal. Even if the client doesn't have an auto email right at this moment, maybe I select those properties that we're going to see tomorrow, and now I come down to below under actions and email them just those selected properties, which now again, in their email, they still have the customer reports. Now, because I put this in my client's cart, we also have access to, and let me zoom in on it, and they have access to their portal, the notes. The notes feature allows us and the clients to actually make notes about the properties that we're seeing. So if we tap the notes feature, little window opens up, and now we can come over here, tap on the yellow box, get our cursor to blink, and now we can write in our necessary notes, like call a listing agent regarding, I don't know, a mirror in hallway, period, see if included in list price. Right? And then we hit add a note, and now the note is timestamped and added. Now, if a client makes a note, we get to see their note. If we make a note, they get to see our notes. So now, this can act like communication between us. Now, we need to be careful of the type of notes we make, right? Why? Because this can be considered electronic correspondence, which may be required for our files, especially if we happen to go into escrow.
Yeah.
So, be careful of the type of notes you make.
Can you download it to be part of your?
You could probably print screen it.
Oh,
There's no download, unfortunately.
just checking.
How
But we
do
can
you
print
make
screen it
up?
and keep it as part of our file.
Yeah.
Or scan it, and now we have an electronic copy, right? But this requires us to be careful of the type of notes we make, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, don't put in the agent's information, like contact John Smith or John Doe at 949-555-5555, right? Because now my client's got their information, now they may call them and try to circumvent me, which
Right.
hopefully no client that you guys are dealing with will ever do anything like that, right? But also be careful of the type of notes you make. So please don't make any derogatory remarks about the property. Don't make any derogatory remarks about the agent's clients. And most importantly, don't make any derogatory statements about the other agent. Right? Because heaven forbid you ever get into a dispute with them and you have to go to grievance and you have to present your files or whatever, and someone's saying that, well, you're bad-mouthing me, and they ask to see your files in electronic correspondence. If you're bad-mouthing the client, or bad-mouthing the agent, or bad-mouthing the property, that doesn't make for good business, right?
How did you make the note?
So, I tap on this yellow box here, I write in my note, and then I hit add a note.
Well, I don't see the yellow.
So, if you don't put the listings in your client's cart,
your
you won't
own,
have that
okay.
feature. So if it was just under your cart, my listings,
Okay.
then you can't do this. So, my disclaimer is there should be no reason why any agent mistreats each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are a small enough group, even though you're 90,000 agents, part of CRMLS. If you're not working with an agent now, guaranteed you'll work with them at some point in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are just the middlemen. Your job, listing side, buying side, is to help make the transaction as smooth as possible. I get it. You take on your clients, or the clients are hard enough to work with sometimes because they can get very emotional. Real estate can be a very emotional business, and it's our job to keep emotions steady and easy. We're just the middlemen. We want to make it as smooth as possible for our clients on both sides, right? No reason why you guys don't treat each other professionally. Okay? I get it. Sometimes you want to get mad at them because, of whatever, but we need to be proper to each other, right? That's why we're realtors. That's why we have code of ethics. We promise that we are going to treat each other, not only our clients, but our other agents in our business with mutual respect. I think that's something that's kind of lost in today's age. Too many people get volatile too easily, right? So we got to be mindful of that. So be careful of the type of notes you make. Anybody have any questions on this so far? Now, we got one other last thing here with the cards. What happens when you have a client and you that do this? You walk up, open the door, hate it, and you leave. What do you do with those printouts? Like, they literally don't even put one full step into the house. They already know that this is not the house for them. What do you do with those printouts now? Some of you probably do what? You fold them, you stick them in between your seats, or you stick them behind the entire stack. And then you try to remember at the end of the day, after all your showings and all your business, which properties your clients didn't like, right? Well, here in the carts, what I can do with that type of situation is select the properties that my client didn't care for or wasn't a good fit. And now I can come back down under carts. And you'll notice here that instead of adding to cart, because we're already in the cart, we have a choice here that says removed checked. When I tap on remove check, that now gets rid of those listings.
So the concept is to keep in the cart what is of interest to the client.
Exactly.
Okay.
What should remain here by the end of the day are the properties that my clients want to make offers on.
I just can't believe I've been using this for like 10 years. I've never looked at cart.
There we go. You've been using this for 10 years, and this is the first time using cards. Yay, I've shown somebody else something new
I
today.
can walk out of here and already have tremendous value.
Yay, thank you. So yes, basically what should be here at the carts by the end of the day are the properties that your client really like and want to make offers on. Now, sir, back to your question. What happens if there's no internet access? You're absolutely right. What are we going to do? Now, because I've been teaching this for years, I used to get that from a lot of agents all the time. I would love to use the carts, but I'm in areas like Irvine and Tustin and Aliso Viejo and those condo complexes. I get no cell phone signal. If I get no cell phone signal, guess what I don't have? Internet access. So I have to print out the reports. Today, you don't need to do that. Today, what we're going to utilize is third-party applications, and what we're going to do is we're going to have the PDF documents stored on our mobile tablet device's memory. Now, if you're an iPhone or an iPad user, there are two apps out there that I really like a lot. One is called PDF Expert. PDF Expert is about $12 or $13 out of the App Store. And what this is a PDF reader, writer, and editor. Now, I would definitely recommend that for your phone device because why? You guys get emails every day and a lot of times maybe sign contracts. But if you don't have a PDF reader, you won't see the signatures on those PDF contracts.
Oh, I see.
Because you don't have the proper software to read the PDF correctly. PDF writer, we can actually edit and modify PDFs, and of course a creator, we can actually create a PDF document.
Are you talking like a DocuSign signature?
Yeah, a DocuSign or a digital ink signature.
On a
If I'm
PDF wouldn't show up?
it won't show up if I don't have a proper PDF reader to read that PDF document. Sure, iPhone will display the document, but I won't see the signature. So even if it says, hey, this is a signed document, I won't see it unless I open it up in a PDF reader. It's no different
So if you're
than not
opening
having
up-
Adobe Reader on your
So
computer.
if you're opening up in zipForms though, you could read it.
Only because I have a PDF reader installed on my computer.
So you
If
go
I
to
get an
the-
email, which you probably do, and a lot of times they have PDF attachments, and if I'm the agent and I'm sending you signed contracts to submit an offer to your listing, you open up that PDF document and you don't have the proper software to read that PDF, you won't see it. Maybe you bring it over to your computer, then you'll see it, and then you'll go, well, why am I not seeing the signatures on my phone or my tablet device? It's because you don't have the application software necessary to read it properly. Does that make sense? It's no different than on your computer. If you don't have Adobe Reader, you can't read the PDF.
I'm looking at a DocuSign form right now, I just got emailed it and it's there.
It's probably because you already have a PDF reader of some sort there.
I don't think I ever downloaded one.
We'll double check it. Now, so PDF Expert, it's about $12 or $13, one-time fee out of your Apple Store. Young lady, Android, what you're going to do is on your Play Store, you're going to type in PDF Editor. There is a free one, about 4.8 stars, free for you to be able to do. Okay? PDF Editor for you.
So
It is free. Now, PDF Expert for iPhone and iPad, it's not free.
how much?
$13 one-time fee.
Oh, one time only, not
One-time
per
fee.
month.
One-time fee.
Oh, that's cheap.
But it does require you to sign up for an Adobe account. Now, the other application that I like on the iPad and iPhone is called Notability. Notability, the big difference between the two is all the bells and whistles. Yes, Notability and cost. Notability is a PDF reader, writer, and editor as well. But all the bells and whistles are very simplified on this PDF editor and reader. Okay? So I kind of like that. Also, cost is about $9.99. So you're saving yourself anywhere from $2 to $3 on an app. One-time fee. Okay? Now, once you download something like this, now you're ready to read, write, create PDF documents, right? So, this is what we're going to do. And you had a question.
I think you're answering it right now, because I was thinking, how do we use it, what's the purpose?
What purpose is what we're going to do is we're going to take these properties that we have in our agent's cart, we're going to make the PDF documents of the agent full report, and then we're going to store it on our iPad or our iPhone's memory or our phone's memory as a backup in case we don't have access to the internet.
Ah, got it.
So that way we can still have the printout reports
Okay.
without having to have internet access because it's stored on our memory, right? So we won't be able to access updated, changed information, but at least we still have the access to the agent full report information to be able to answer our clients' questions if they need them.
I thought you were going into editing or something like that. And I thought
Well, we're going to kind of,
Okay.
I'll show you, okay?
Are
So
those-
yes.
Are those two apps similar to Dropbox?
No, Dropbox is a cloud storage system to be able to interchange files back and forth, but I still need internet access in order to access those files on my Dropbox. So if my tablet or my phone device does not have internet, guess what I'm not going to be doing?
So, but if you click, let's say, the 5 listings that you want to show,
Yeah? Let me show you.
you have to have internet access.
No. Well, let me go on. So yes, I am going to need to have internet access. So today, I'm scheduling my appointments today, right? I put my listings in my client's cart. Now, while I am at home or at the office and I have great internet connection, I've downloaded these apps onto one of these apps onto my mobile device. What I'm now going to do is, from the computer, jump onto my mobile device, log into the MLS, go into my client's cart, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the listings in my client's cart. From here, I'm going to come back down below under Actions, and now I'm going to say Print. Now I know what you're thinking here. Tony, you said we aren't going to print the documents, right? We're not going to have paper. We're generating the PDF document. We have to generate the PDF document. So from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to deselect the Agent One Line report first, and then I'm going to say select the Agent Full. Maybe even the Agent Full with photos. Now, I'm going to come down below and I'm going to say print to PDF. I'm not going to email it, I'm going to print. Again, we're not printing, but we're generating the Agent Full report document of all these
So that's
listings.
a way to generate the,
You'll notice that I'm still on the internet and the PDF document is now being created. Now, once the PDF document is created here, and give it a couple of seconds, we're then going to tap that magic button to put this PDF document into, say, Notability or PDF Expert. What that does is it takes it from the internet and stores it in that app on my tablet's memory. Now, Android, what you are going to do, because you have the PDF Editor app, you're going to hit the 3 dots and then you're going to hit Download. What that does is it takes this PDF and downloads it into your phone's memory under the My Files app on your phone or Android tablet. Okay? So here we've got the Agent Full report created on the internet. Now I know I've had agents in the past stop right here. And they go, well, this is all I need, right? They close out, they don't do anything, they go out to the properties, they go right onto the internet, and then all of a sudden this is blank. Why? Because the internet refreshes. And if it refreshes and you have no internet, what you generated doesn't appear. This is why we do it from home first, or from our office. So before I go out tomorrow and meet the clients at the property, while I have great internet access at home or at the office, I'm going to come over here to that box with the arrow coming out, the share button. And now, instead of going to the bottom choices, I'm going to go over here to the middle of applications to put this PDF document into. I'm now going to scroll over to say Notability. It'll say copy to Notability or copy to PDF Expert. When I tap on that, Notability automatically opens up for me. Now I'm going to say create a brand new note into Notability. Here are the 27 pages of the 4 properties that we selected. Now I'm going to say import, and now a note is automatically generated in Notability. So now I've saved the online document offline.
How'd you get the pictures to show?
The picture is already part of the PDF document.
So as you scroll that down,
On the full.
At the bottom where I say, because when I say choose the agent full, there's a box over to the left that says include rollout. Include the rollout, so you have all the photos at the bottom of the
Did
listing.
you go back to include rollout?
Yep.
Where's-
Because when I come down here,
Yeah.
there's the rollout of the photos. So now, remember how I was saying, typically it's about 7 pages long, between 4 and 7. Now I've got all 7 pages here for
Right.
5 properties, right?
So when you click agent full,
Next to agent full, and I'll go back here just to show you. There's a box here, print with rollouts.
Okay.
Photos. Check mark that, check your agent full, print to PDF, generate it. Now we're taking it after it's generated and storing it in the Notability app on our mobile device's memory chip.
Can you go through a little bit because it's a little too fast, like an agent full, then we print.
Yep,
to
so first
PDF.
deselect the agent one line,
Right.
then select the agent full, select it with maybe the agent photos, or with the photos. Then come down below to hit print to PDF. A new window will open up like this did, and it may take it a few seconds or a minute, depending on how many you're doing. Then from here, we go to the box with the arrow coming out, the share button or magic button, and then through the list of apps, we scroll to where it says
Notability.
copy to Notability or copy to PDF Expert, whatever your PDF editor is.
So in my
When you
case, it will
tap
be-
that, then Notability opens up, you create the new note, you import it.
In my case, will be not Notability. Will be
It'll actually be download.
download.
Yours is just
The
download.
3 dots download.
Download. Then what happens is you'll open up the PDF editor. Then in your PDF editor, you're going to say open my file, the name of this file.
Okay. Do I have to save it again, or it's gonna be there? Okay.
It's going to be right in there.
We
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
have to-
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Copy to Notability, that's an app.
Notability is an actual app. So what I'm doing is I'm copying this PDF document from the internet and placing it into this application.
Okay.
If you have an iPhone.
If you don't have this application, but you have, say, PDF Expert, so like I said, I like those two the best,
Okay.
right? The difference is I think PDF Expert has like 30 or 40 different buttons. You'll probably only use 2 or 3. Whereas Notability, you're not inundated with a ton of buttons. A little bit easier on the eyes to see,
Okay.
and of course cost. I think PDF Expert costs a couple of dollars more one time versus Notability. Notability used to be only $2 or $3 out of the App Store. I think now, over the years, it's increased to $9 one-time fee out of your App Store, but there you go.
Okay, got it.
so then when you're out in the field and you have no internet access, you can open up that app.
Exactly. I open up that app, so that's what we would do, right? Now, while we're still at home, there's a couple of things I want to show you in Notability. So we have the PDF document here, right? Now, how many of you show properties in exact order that are displayed in the MLS? No one, right?
Never.
Everybody kind of tries to maneuver their day, right? I need to go to this property first, then this property, then this property. Now, unfortunately, in the carts, you can't rearrange the properties in their showing order, unfortunately. I begged and pleaded MLS to actually do that, but they haven't done it yet.
Why? That's
So,
silly.
because this is a PDF editor, and these are individual pages in this PDF document, over here to the top right corner, we can tap the multiple pages icon and look at every page within this PDF document. Now, with a touch of a finger or my stylus, I can now grab a document and then I can move it, come on, and place it in whatever order. So maybe the day before my showing, I now place those documents in the showing order that I need them to. Yes?
Does the, I thought the MLS had a system to be able to place them by order, like.
That's your directions.
Right.
So yes, you can select the documents and go to directions, and now you can put them in directional order, but that doesn't put the PDF documents
Right.
in directional order.
Yeah, that's a very good point, okay.
So here we can put our documents in our showing order, right?
You have to drag every page.
or I can select multiple pages and then drag them and move them. There's a way of doing
You can
that.
highlight multiple, that's good, okay, got it.
And then move them in groups, right? Which is a good idea to do, right? Now,
I think I just have to go through, I'm sorry to interrupt, the whole concept, because this is paperless.
This
So
is-
obviously, when you have the paper, you just put them in the order. This is paperless.
so now you have to get into the habit of
Exactly.
doing it beforehand, right? But this serves as a great backup
Yeah.
in case, right? Now, we got a couple of cool things that we can do here. You now go in, you discover you have no internet, you go into the Notability app, you can tap on your note, and now you look at your properties and they're showing order, right? We got another couple of nice things that we can do. We need to make notes about these properties, right? So now what we can do is utilize here in the middle 2 icons. The first, to the far left, is the T icon. The T icon allows us to type in text. So now we can go anywhere on any of these pages.
You're in Notability right now, aren't you?
Yep, I'm in Notability right now.
Okay.
So here I can go to any of these pages, and maybe I can now tap on the T icon and tap anywhere on that PDF, and now I can begin to type text. Now, I get it. Most of us have the problem of this. We have a tablet, we hold the tablet with one hand, and now we have to become really creative and type one-handed, right? Kind of a pain. Anybody hear the concept voice to text?
Yes.
Anybody do that for their text messages? I'm
Yes.
sure you're like everybody else. You hit voice to text while you're driving, and now you can talk your text, right? Well, look here. Whoops. If we look on this keyboard down below next to the space bar, we have the microphone icon. So now I can tap anywhere on this PDF document to get my text ready to type, and now I can hit the microphone icon, and now we can talk about the property. Like, upstairs bedroom looks great. My clients, period, are loving this home, exclamation point. They have a concern about the floorboards in the master bedroom being discolored, whatever else. Period.
That's cool.
So now we have full type text. Now,
It's
I
so
get it.
sensitive that when you stumbled a little bit, it went to class, and then it went to clock, and then.
Yeah, it does its auto-correcting, but this is why we don't let them see our notes, right?
Right.
But this is also where we also need to be careful, right? Do we want our clients to necessarily hear what we're thinking?
Right.
No.
So we probably won't do voice to text.
Right.
So, if we can't type, we can't voice to text, then we're going to use the other icon, the pencil icon. Pencil icon allows us to physically, with our stylus or our finger, to make, notes. So now what we can do with this is be able to go through and point out certain things. This is so cool. Right? Or even better yet, we have the highlighter, and now we can highlight on a listing certain areas that we need to remember.
So these two,
Because this, again, is a PDF editor. So now we're editing the PDF document, right? So now we can make our necessary notes about the properties while we're with our clients. And again, 1 inch thick, less than 1 pound device, and not have to worry about a stack of paper that we have to hopefully place on a table and write. We can now walk around, make our notes, write things down, dictate things that we need to. Now, by the end of the day, we can review our notes, review what our clients liked or disliked about a home, to be able to go over how to write up our necessary authors, this, that, and the other. Does that make
So-
sense?
are these tools of the Notability thing, or I'm gonna have?
This is
access
all
to-
part of Notability. Now, your PDF editor will have the exact same
Okay,
type of
that's my
tools.
question.
Just not in the same way,
Yeah,
but
the
yes,
same thing.
same thing. Reorder your pages, write on them, type on them, dictate them, highlight them, do whatever you want,
Okay.
That's
right?
awesome.
PDF Expert's going to have the same kind of thing. So the idea behind this is that you can still do what you need, just electronically, without necessarily the internet.
That's good.
Anybody like this?
Yes.
All right.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to understand, you had mentioned earlier that in order for these PDF editors to work, we need to have Adobe.
No.
Oh,
Notability does not need Adobe. A PDF Expert does ask you to sign up for an Adobe account. That's the only difference.
okay.
But do
Oh,
you
that's
have
the
to
other
sign up?
difference. It wants you to have an Adobe
That's what you
account.
were saying, that Notability saves us the,
Saves you from that. Don't have to worry about that. You save a couple extra dollars. And of course, you're not having to look at 30 million buttons.
Yeah.
Here, you just need 2 or 3. Right? So it's super simplified, which I love about Notability. Now, it's been a while since I've played with PDF Expert, but the last time I looked at it, yeah, I mean, it is just as easy, but I like this a little bit better. I like to gravitate to this.
Is there anywhere else we can use PDF, or I'm sorry, Notability? Like once we have it downloaded, we could probably use it in
Other aspects, we can download any PDF document, or we can actually create one.
No, I meant other than CRMLS, is there anywhere else that we can use it?
Almost any PDF document that's emailed to you. So maybe I email you contracts. Now you can upload that into here and see the full PDF document.
Awesome.
So you can see the signatures.
Yeah, I'm glad
Maybe
you won't tell
you
before.
review it because you're not removing it from the email, but now you review it with your client, and maybe they have some areas where they want highlighted to be able to write up a proper counteroffer.
That's great.
So you could do stuff like that. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility. Or maybe, geez, Tina's written a letter to me and she wants me to go through and make my edits. She sends it to me via PDF. I upload it here. I make my necessary edits. And now back over here with the box with the arrow coming out, I can now email it her. And now she has my edits, but I still retain what I've done. So it doesn't leave my iPad.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Oh, that's great.
So I'm sending her a copy of my notes on whatever document she's sent to me. Maybe we need to write up a formal letter or whatever to the client, to the broker, to the, lender or whoever else for whatever reason, and we're partners. So now all of a sudden wants my input on what note she's about to send, so I make my notes.
That's great.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody like this?
Love
All right.
it.
Now I know I can go on and on and on and on and on for another 8 hours about MLS. But why don't we take a quick? What time is it? 20 after.
Yeah.
All right. Why don't we take a quick 5-minute break? Let you guys stand up, stretch your legs, and then what we'll do is we're going to come back and now we're going to go over zipForms Mobile. So what we do from here is now we're going to be able to sit down with the client, write up contracts, and now most importantly, sign on the dotted line.
Now I have to go to the NAR?
Well, for you, that'll be for CAR, so you'll have to register at CAR. So whenever you get a chance to do that.
okay, okay.
So why don't we take a quick 5-minute break, come back at 11:45, and then that way gives us time for the next 45 minutes, all right? So I'll see you guys in a minute. Yes, sir.
All right. Really? So, this is an email I just got. I need to send it to my client through Zip to get them to sign it.
So what you would do,
Do I have to highlight and save it?
no, so here, exactly what you did, and then you're going to say zipForms
You
Mobile.
click the property,
So copy to zipForms
put it on the
Mobile.
card.
So just by doing that, I just copied it.
Tim knows.
It's going to take it from the email, it's going to leave it in the email, but now you're going to upload a copy, and now you got to pick out what transaction. So log into your zipForms. Log into your zipForms.
Oh,
I know what your zipForms.
because it's
Notability.
I can't have it already opened.
Well, you have to have it logged in, but yes, once you do this, yes, you'll stay logged in.
Hold on a second. 'Cause
You can.
I know, because hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. Because I know you're gonna kill me, but I just.
So when you go to CAR.org, what's your
Right.
sign-ins for CAR.org?
It's already in here, and I don't know them. It's like
Gotta
here.
know these
No,
things.
it's already on. So it's like I just tap here, and it should be
Nope.
from this website. Boom, and I'm in.
So, one, wait a minute, let's go back. Right? And of course, you're already logged in, right? So that doesn't help me.
So I can't go back. Okay, so I have to.
So yeah, when you hit remember, right, it just told you what your username was, right?
Right. So.
So zipForms Mobile Companion, you're logging in differently because you're logging into an app. You're still accessing the same type of account.
So this is like online, but not the app.
Correct. So when you're trying to copy a PDF document or upload it,
I'm doing it on the mobile device.
you're doing it through the mobile app, not the
I
web.
have all this in here.
Different
Oh,
from
I
a
didn't see
computer.
there.
Yeah.
I only hear it when it's
Right? So as a
over.
computer, you have to download it onto your computer's memory before you can upload it into the computer.
Let's go back here. So we're here.
Here, because
Yeah.
I didn't see that
Oops.
thing.
It's okay.
Because I already have it.
Even from there,
I got it.
right? Even if you were here, see that box is there?
So this is a cool, okay, I
Hold
got
on a
it,
second.
I'm missing that part.
If we're gonna do this, let's do it the right way.
Alright.
Hold MLS agent. Yeah, I need this one.
And then you tap on it.
Okay, so that arrow.
And then copy to zipForm mobile.
Okay,
That's the app.
okay, so okay.
So you have to still log
Okay,
into the app
so let's-
with your username and password. So whatever you created. It looked like it began with an S.
Yeah, no, it's mine, it's the code here.
Okay. And then your password for zipForms.
No,
It may be kind of sensitive. It's at least 6 characters long with at least one number.
Yeah, no, let me see if this works.
Let me see if this is still recording. Yes, it is. Excellent. I've got a lot of Jim Strait is watching. Bring him on camera. Yasmin. Hey, Yasmin. What's happening? Glad everybody's watching. And then when you hit submit, what should happen, unless it doesn't like something here, and it's probably taking a minute, but
Still there now.
yeah. Okay. So why don't we do this? Why don't we log into zipForm mobile directly first? See our credentials. And then type it.
Oh, wait a second, so what was the other one?
zipForm's credentials. That's anybody else outside of the state of California. Even though, yes, you are logging into zipForms, we are our own unique monsters. You'll hear me talk about this. We have our own credentials here at CAR. So yes, it's still your username to log into CAR's website to access your zipForms account. Yes, sir.
It's this one?
Yep.
This one, okay, so.
One time fee of $10.
One more time,
So if you download it here, then you can go to your tablet.
I can use computer?
Computer, you're just downloading the PDF doc.
Yeah, got it.
It's different. This is for mobile.
Did you?
So what we're doing is mobile. You're not necessarily carrying this with you at an appointment.
Oh, okay. This
That's what
one.
the whole point of this
Point
class is. We're not carrying a big old bulky laptop with us. All right, perfect. So now what we do,
So I need to open up,
that email again.
okay, that email again.
Boom. Copy the Notability. You're already logged in. Now it's going to ask you what,
It needs to go to this file.
okay.
That's what I open it.
Yep, you selected it, so now it's going to copy it into here. So now, existing transaction. And it's going to ask you which select. And say yes, put it into that one. And now we can go into this. Sorry. And then we can go to the documents. And now at the bottom, you should have a PDF file.
It was saying something could not.
It said it couldn't? Yeah, that's the editable document. You want that.
Okay.
Let's go back and try it.
Go back to the email.
Yeah.
Alright, so we go here.
Is this your document?
No, they just sent it to me, so.
Okay, I'll ask that.
Copy it to there.
Give it a second.
Well, hold on, because it was saying something like could not do something.
So,
Two copies.
to a new transaction or an existing?
To existing.
So select existing. And now, which existing transaction do you want to select it to? Are you sure? So yes. Interesting. So it couldn't connect up to it. That's fine. Okay. So, I'll have to talk to them about that.
So,
It should. Essentially, ideally, yes, you could copy that attachment from the email directly into the transaction.
because in the past, I would put it under like, add a document. Would I have it, would I like, save it on my desktop?
I actually sent it into your Dropbox.
Okay.
You have Dropbox on here?
I do.
So then you take that document, put it into Dropbox.
But I don't, my son's a realtor in Arizona, and he showed me that, he had showed all these properties and saved it in Dropbox. And I put it on here, and
There,
it's
start
pretty cool because it's exactly what we just had up there. You know, and there was no feature that for this particular app.
Right, but you still have to have internet access to access your
Right.
Dropbox.
Originally, which we have.
Still.
I just.
You know, because
I'm out in the field, I still need to have
He said
internet
just-
access.
Oh, really?
Oh, do you sign it?
So Dropbox isn't a stat, because
It's not static.
he showed me that there's like 7 houses, and then he went into Dropbox and it was there, but if you didn't have internet access, it's not there.
Correct, because he can't get into his
Okay,
Dropbox
so-
because he doesn't have internet
So
access.
Dropbox really isn't the thing that I need, it's Notability or.
To store it here in the tablets.
Okay, so Dropbox is not really
Okay, there you
a
go.
proper app because you need access to the internet.
No, it's great for when you're putting documents from email into
CRMLS.
Dropbox, you put them and filter them.
Too complicated.
Or, hey, I got attachments that I put from like.
Oh, there's a
years ago
share.
to another
And
person,
then you bookmark it?
Right, so you can try
But-
to files.
But in
Say add
theory,
bookmark,
what
then
we
what?
did should have worked.
Yes, in theory, it should have worked, so what I would suggest
Save it
is,
right here.
take that email, that attachment, put it into your Dropbox, and you put it into a folder. Then, go to add document, access your Dropbox from the add document, and upload it that way.
Or it's in the
But-
back where they added
Thank
it.
you.
So do you think there's just like a glitch right now or something? Because it
It
wouldn't-
might be, or it might be something that zipForm says, you know what, it's a third-party thing, security, we're not gonna talk to you that way
Add it in the back.
on the tablet devices. Let me call them and talk to them
Okay.
and see if that's the case. So give me your card and I can call them by tomorrow to go over that. All right.
Okay.
So, let's see here. We went a couple of minutes over, we have a lot more information to go over, so why don't we get started?
We talk about it. It's just pretty much you know.
And I'm missing a couple of people, so we'll wait.
Okay, just promote,
Uh-huh.
just want to promote the
So
class.
what
Oh, yes.
third class today?
The third class is going over applications for your mobile devices
Uh-huh.
to make you a little bit more efficient in your business, like
When-
Open Home Pro, Home Snap, and MLS Touch to be able to find properties quickly or a little bit quicker while you're on the go, which is kind of nice. There's some pros and cons.
So
And
when,
then-
when it will start?
That one starts at 3:30,
Oh,
I did not sign up, but I will sign up.
Today?
I will take that class.
and I have a sign-in sheet, so that'd
Okay,
be.
what
you don't
class
have-
is that?
That's
Oh,
the 3:30 class of the
Yeah,
applications.
that's a good
Applications.
Yeah, and again, we'll be back here again. Don't worry. So if you
Yeah.
can't be here today, you're fine.
For
So
sure.
the second one will be,
Cloud storage,
Uh-huh.
like Dropbox, iCloud, Google Drive, and of course cybersecurity. We're mixing a little bit of that in there.
Okay.
Things to be mindful of.
I need to go on the car, no?
Yes, ma'am. For this portion, you should be registered at CAR, but that's okay. Just take notes. Because I already gave you my recorded webinar access
Uh-huh.
to review this section.
Okay, great. Thank
Okay?
you.
All right. So, what we're going to go over now is zipForm's access on your mobile device. This is called zipForm's Mobile. Okay? Now, zipForm's Mobile is a feature that was released about 5 to 7 years ago. What this allows you to do is on your mobile device be able to not only write up contracts, but with a feature in zipForm's Mobile, be able to allow the client to physically sign on the contract right then and there. Okay? Yes, you do have access to Digital Ink and DocuSign, right? That requires you to email it out to the client for them to digitally sign it. But hey, wait a minute. I'm here right in front of my clients. I need their signatures on the dotted line right now. This is where zipForm's Mobile is going to really help you out because now you can strike while the iron's hot. Now, how we access zipForm's Mobile. If you're an iPad or iPhone user, you want to download the app called zipForm Mobile Companion. It is free to download.
From what?
He's already got it, so you're okay. zipForm Mobile Companion. Now, if you're an Android user, you're simply just going to go onto the web. You're going to go to car.org and log into your zipForms account. Because you're on a mobile device, zipForm Mobile will automatically kick in for you.
It's so easy. The Android?
It is very easy with the Android. What we're going to go over today is exactly what the Android experience is. It's just the way you log in. Now, if you're an iPad, iPhone user, and you download the app, it all comes down to the login, first and foremost. This is where a lot of mistakes happen with a lot of agents, right? And I'm going to log out real quick.
zipForm is one word or together?
zipForm is one word, ZIPFORM. Second word, mobile. If you just type that in,
Excuse me.
now,
What happened?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, it says cannot connect up to your app store. Maybe because we block the app, I don't know.
Oh, because
We
no
block
internet.
downloads.
Oh,
Well, if you have, well, you know, also you're less than 20%.
oh, okay, so I cannot do it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So we may be blocking Apple from downloading
Oh, I see, okay,
Or-
got it.
Android.
Mhm.
But basically what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what you do. Here on the app, you got to log in. Now this is where a lot of mistakes happen with the app. Most people will see, oh, I'm just going to log in with my zipForms credentials, input their username and password that they use for CAR's website, they hit submit, and all of a sudden it says, no user found.
Oh.
Right? You do it 5, 6, 10, 30 times. This is where the problem comes in. You have to switch your credentials.
Oh.
Yes, you are accessing zipForms. You would think I'm accessing my zipForms credentials, but because you are CAR members, California Association of Realtor members, you are the most unique real estate monsters in the entire real estate community in the United States. If you hit the down arrow next to use zipForms credentials, you want to choose the choice use CAR credentials.
Okay.
Once you choose use CAR credentials, now input your username and password for CAR's website. So that username and password that you have created, or ma'am, in your case, will be creating at car.org, you're going to type that in. Now, just like CAR, it will be case sensitive, so be mindful of that. Just like your password is going to be unique.
Isn't
And then
this-
when you hit submit, you're now going to be taken to your transaction list. So, because you've not used it before or you're going through an update because of March, just agree to the terms of usage.
Which one I need to do? Is it for mobile?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Now, this will take you to your transaction list in zipForms. So, what I like about this is that, and what I love about online, because your online account, you can access it from any computer device through the internet to access all your transactions that you create through CAR. zipForms Mobile automatically syncs all those transactions, meaning that I can access a pre-existing transaction by simply tapping on that transaction. And when I tap on this transaction and I go to my documents, I can now tap on a document and now begin to edit the forms within that document, right? Whatever I do here will be automatically seen on my computer. Whatever I do on my computer will automatically be seen here. Now, if you don't have a transaction, or actually, so what does this mean for you? It means that now you don't have to leave your client's presence. If I can access pre-existing transactions or even make new transactions, I never have to leave my client's side. So maybe Tina and her husband, I've shown them 5 or 6 properties. We've gone and used our cards. Now she wants me to write up, or they want me to write up a couple of offers. Instead of me saying, okay, not a problem, I'm going to go back home, write up the offer for you. Hour or two goes by, I write up the offers, I contact Tina and her husband, and I say, all right, I'm not going to send this to you for digital signatures, which I typically now hear what? We changed our minds.
Right.
We thought about it after you left, and we thought, you know what, we just want to see what else is out there, da-da-da-da-da. You know,
Yeah.
now all that work is wasted, right? Or even worse yet, maybe Tina and her husband are listing their property. I've gone to their home, I've spent 2 or 3 hours there evaluating, going over my listing presentation. I leave, I write up the listing contract, I call her up to get ready to sign it, and she tells me,
No.
there was an agent that came by 2 minutes after you left. They happen to have the contracts with them, so we decided to list with them. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah.
Doesn't that make you upset,
Yes.
right? All that work, all that hard work I just did for someone else to have fruition for. So now what I'm now going to have an excuse for, because I have internet access, I'm on my tablet device, I'm now going to give an excuse to be in front of my client. Maybe I take Tina and her husband out for lunch, dinner, drinks, coffee, whatever. Or maybe even better yet, this is a listing presentation, I sit down at the dining room table, I go into my zipForms account, itself, hopefully, if this works. Yep, it totally froze on me. Awesome. Great, my iPad just froze on me. Don't you just love that when that happens?
Yeah.
See, I run into problems too. Don't make me have to restart it. It's all good. It's all good. Give me a second. Come on.
Exactly.
Really? Really? Honestly? Thing I love about technology sometimes.
It's hard to add.
Wait. Let's try this again.
I think there's something wrong with the internet.
Maybe. Sometimes that happens. I get frozen up. So here,
Oh, it's good.
I go in and log into my zipForms mobile account, right? And by the way, hey, if you notice, I run into internet problems. We
Yes.
all go through it. Just be patient. So here, I take Tina out and her husband for lunch, dinner, drinks, coffee, whatever. We're going to discuss. Now, while Tina and her husband are perusing through the menu, thinking about ordering the steak and lobster lunch, maybe with a little champagne mimosa, depending on the time of day, I'm going to be in my zipForms account. Now, to make a transaction, very easy. We come over to the top left, we tap New. There, we're going to choose what type of transaction we're going to make.
New
Maybe
purchase.
this is an offer. From here, we're going to name it. Bless you. We choose the transaction type. Maybe we even import the MLS listing that we're looking at, right?
Right.
We happen to know the MLS number. We type that in. Now I say, find me my listing. MLS Connect now will connect CRMLS and zipForms together to find this property for me to import onto my contracts. And now I'm going to say, use this listing. Now, by the way, anybody here have templates in their zipForms?
Yes.
If you have templates, you can select a template. Now you grab the contracts, you have the MLS data. Now, if you don't have templates, which it looks like most of you don't, just come down below and hit save. Once we hit save, we've now officially made the transaction in our zipForms. Now we need to add in contracts to the transaction. So here, we're going to come over to the top right corner and click on All Forms. So after we make the transaction, we now go to All Forms, and now we can look at over 329 forms for buying, selling, leasing properties in the state of California. To add a form to a transaction, simply find the form that you need, tap on it once, tap on it twice, and say Add a Form. Now we've officially added this form or this document as part of our transaction. Now, how many of you need to or want to go through 329 forms to find 2 or 3 forms that you might need, right? Here, in looking at all the forms, at the very top we have a bar here that says search for form by name or number. Simply tap in that bar, oops, tap in that bar and now type in, say, the form number, like RPA. For those of you who don't know what RPA stands for, it stands for the Residential Purchase
Yeah,
Agreement.
that's the problem I run into, is like, these forms have some obscure names. You
Some
know,
of them do,
and
but
it's
we're
like-
going to go over how to find those, right?
It's so frustrating.
So here, when I type in RPA, the forms list sorts to give me every form that has the word or number RPA. So either part of the number or part of the name. Once I find the form that I need, I again tap on it once, tap on it twice, and then say Add. Now, if I don't know part of the name of the, or if I don't know the number of the form, but I know part of the name, like disclosure. Now the forms list sorts to give me every form that has the word disclosure as part of the title. Now, once I've added the necessary forms, now I can go into the form itself and begin to modify my terms. What are some of my terms? The property address, the offer price or list price, how many days escrow, this, that, and the other, right? We put all that information in for this. Why my clients are enjoying their steak and lobster. And maybe I have my little glass of water on the side because I'm busy doing work. But the idea is that now we're interacting and we're talking and engaging and negotiating. What my client wants to offer based on what we need, based on what we're talking about, based on the other properties that we've seen today, this, that, and the other, right? Now, after we've written up the offer or the listing agreement, what do we now need to do? After we've written up our terms? Sign, right?
DocuSign.
Exactly. Well, yes, we can use DocuSign. We can use Digital Ink, but that does what? I now have to email those documents to the client for them to go in at their leisure to digitally sign, right? Well, I'm right here at the table.
Yeah, sign on the spot.
This is where we're going to utilize a feature in zipForms Mobile called TouchSign.
Oh,
TouchSign is only available in zipForms Mobile. There's nothing to download, nothing you need to do. This is an automatic zipForms Mobile feature. What this feature allows you to do, or allows the clients to do, is physically sign on your tablet device and apply that signature to the contract. Now, this does take a little practice. So what I recommend to every agent, create a transaction in your zipForms account, call it test. Right? When you call it test, add at least one form. On that form, at least put in a property address and put in a signer's name. Those are the two big or minimum things that you need in order to get contracts signed, right?
Do you need a stylus like that?
You don't need to use a stylist, or you can use your finger. But I want you to practice, especially those of you who are brand new to zipForms, practice all these other great tools and features. Okay? So, I'm going to go into a transaction that I've already kind of typed up. So, we go into the transaction, we've got it all typed up. And by the way, before you even do anything, as you type up the form, always hit save. You type up one form before you go into another one, always hit the save button. Save your work. Okay? Once you've saved the last little bit of negotiated information, we now need to sign the documents, right? So here, being in the transaction where we get to see all of our documents and all of our forms, we're going to come over here to where it says e-sign to the top left. When we tap on where it says e-sign, this will give me a list of all my digital signing history for this transaction. Now, if this is a brand new transaction, this will all be blank. So to start up a new session for Tina and her husband to sign, I'm going to come over here to the top left and tap New to start a new session. When I tap New, I now select what documents in this transaction do I want my clients to sign. So, I'm going to select the contracts, maybe even the PDF file that I've uploaded, maybe my company disclosure, whatever other document, right? Maybe, hey, this is the listing side. I review the offers. Now they want to sign and accept an offer. So we can do this to a PDF as well, just so you know. Okay? We hit close. Now from here, we need to change the signing service. You'll notice that we are defaulted into Digital Ink. Why? Because Digital Ink is our free member benefit offered to us by CAR. Those of you in the room, if you have DocuSign, you can also access your DocuSign account. But because we're face-to-face in zipForms Mobile, I'm going to select the choice here that says TouchSign. There is now no email that needs to be generated or sent out. I select TouchSign. I hit Next. Now I need to select at stage 2 the signers. Now this is where the power of the cover sheet comes from. I love the cover sheet in every transaction. Why? Not only does the cover sheet have all the common areas of all the forms, right? Like client's name, property address, pricing, my company information, listing agent or buying agent company information, whoever is the opposite side, right? That I can fill in and have automatically populated. But if I fill out page 1, depending on who I represent, buyer, seller, first name, last name, and email address, or tenant or landlord, buyer, seller, first name, last name, and email address. Then here, the first name, last name, and email address from the cover sheet is pulled. If I don't use a cover sheet, then only the first name and last name will be populated here from the contract. Before I can select the signer or signers, I have to tap the email section and type in their email address manually. So save yourself some typing. Put it on our cover sheet first. Now I can select my signers, as well as myself. Why do I need to select myself? Because I have to sign contracts too.
So when you touch that, it remembers the sequence that you touched it in?
Yes, because when I hit close, it now has a sequence. Now, if you've ever been through any of my zipForms classes in the past, Digital Ink, DocuSign, we can switch the sequence of who gets to sign the documents first and second, right?
Yes.
We don't need to worry about that with TouchSign. Why? Because we're now lifetime signing, so we can switch it on the fly.
Okay, got it.
But there is a nuance about that, which we'll go over here in a second. So now, with our signers chosen, we're going to now go to next.
So you choose 1, 2, 3.
Yep, my clients and me. Because I represent the client, I also need to put my name on the signatures as well. So I'm going to be one of the signers.
I thought you put the 1, 1, 1 together. 'Cause
Does not matter, because we are signing all at once because we're at the table. Now, what I'm going to do, when I hit next, I'm going to turn my iPad over to my client. I'm going to hand them my stylus. Now, if you don't have a stylus, you can use your finger. But I usually tell agents you write better with a writing instrument than with your own finger, right? Not to mention it makes you guys look 20 times more professional handing somebody something to write with. It's better than just saying, Tina, just use your finger. Right? And what happens if I took Tina and her husband out to In-N-Out today?
Yeah.
And Tina has had the double animal style with the animal style fries. Do I want her greasy fingers all over my iPad or my tablet device? Probably not. Invest in a stylus. Most stylists you can get from the dollar store for, guess what? $1. Okay? So, with that said, depending on who's signing first or second, Tina and her husband are now going to read through the legal consent. At this point, they get down to the bottom. Hopefully, they will hit I agree. If they hit I do not agree to these terms, that stops what we're trying to do today.
Right.
So, Tina and her husband say, sure, they agree to the terms. Now, here at the top, what current document we're about to sign, who's currently signing first. Over here are the tasks that they can now begin to do. Now, in this case, maybe I go from Kyle to Sarah. Right? Sarah agrees. Now Sarah's about to sign. So what I'm going to now have Sarah do, or Kyle, or Tina, or her husband, I'm going to have them come over to, say, tap on sign first. What I need to have them do is write their signatures and write their initials. So now they tap to where it says sign. With the stylus, they now hit tap to sign. And now, whoops, clear. They write their signature. I have them tap the initial. Now tap to initial. Now we can close this out. Now, me being the great agent that I am, with Sarah and Kyle, we're going to go through this form. Now I'm going to follow my fiduciary duty to make sure that they read and understand this contract, why they're signing it. Now they come up to an area where Sarah or Kyle has to place their initial or signature. I'm now going to have Tina or Sarah tap where it says sign. When they tap sign, you'll see that there's Sarah's signature here, but I need it down here. They place their finger or stylus on this four-way arrow, and what I mean by place, they place it and hold it down. That's not placing, that's tapping, right? Sometimes you might actually, excuse me, Tina, actually have to hold their hand down and guide them, maybe the first couple of times. I've seen it happen, right? I've even done it with agents who've practiced this. Place, place, place. Let me hold your hand and do it, right? Now they can drag it, move it, and now down below here, they're going to hit sign. When they hit sign, that will now place their real signature on this contract.
How come the date doesn't show up?
Because I now tap date and grab the date and do the same thing.
So like on mine, it always pops up the same.
Because that's Digital Link and DocuSign, which is automatically got those placements there.
Okay.
This is no different than me writing
Okay.
my signatures
This is
and
an extra
initials.
step then when you're in person.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because we're in person, right? Nothing's being emailed because it's all being done on my tablet, right? So now, what we do here is have the client sign once, initial once, and now we can go through the contracts, having the client place their initials and place their signatures where they need to go.
Can you make it smaller?
Sure can. Here, as an example, the initial spot. We'll go down to page 1. The initial, when we select that, we'll notice how big that initial is, right? Well, if we come down below here, next to where it says, say, initial or sign, there's these 3 diagonal lines. If we place our finger or stylus there on it, we can drag it in and make it smaller, or drag it out and make it bigger. Now, this doesn't keep it like that.
So it'll be big on every page.
It can be, or we can make it smaller to fit. Now, if you notice, I haven't switched back to Kyle yet. Why? Ideally, what we do is we go through the entire set of contracts, all the contracts, with the first person first. Now, we're going over the contracts together with both people, right? Reason why I don't change it at that moment, or in between each signer, is that these fields of initial and signature get wiped clean each and every time. So the system doesn't try to remember or won't remember their signature initial, right? So if I kept switching back and forth between signers, I have to get them to re-sign their name again and again, and I'll demonstrate that. So here we got Sarah, right? Now we go over to Kyle. Kyle hasn't written his signature yet, so now Kyle does his same thing, right? Initials, right? But then we switch it back to Sarah for the next set. It's wiped clean. So instead of having the clients rewrite their name and rewrite their signatures for every document, every page, we go through all the documents first, have Sarah sign, Sarah initial, then we switch it to Kyle.
You didn't save it, huh? When you put the initials, that's it.
It does not save it because of liability. I don't want a system that remembers their signatures and initials, because the arguments that have been used for other PDF editors, you can copy and paste. So if the client's not there, now I have their real signature that I can apply to documents without their knowledge. There's a possible liability issue there, right? So we don't want anything like that. This is where zipForms has thought about this, the legal departments. Now, what's super cool about that, though, is after I've gone over the contracts with both of them, right? We've gone through with Sarah. Guess what? Kyle's going to be even faster because we won't have to reread everything. We just go through and say, okay, Kyle, sign, place, 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 place.
So if you made a mistake,
What do you mean?
and something on the...
Who makes a
I don't
mistake?
know.
No.
On
You
one
mean
of the forms. And
on one of the forms,
that
guess
they
what?
sign. You have to go back and sign again because
you have
the
to
signature
close,
is on the... Okay.
cancel, not remember anything,
Okay. And
right?
start it over.
and start all over, because guess what? Those are brand new terms. Oops, I made the mistake. That's why it's vital, as we're sitting down with the client, we talk with them, we write
So
it
it
up.
has his pros and cons.
It's got its pros and cons. Now, after all the signers are done, and myself included, and we hit done, the moment I hit done and OK, zipForms Mobile automatically emails all the signers their signed PDF documents within the first 5 minutes. So my clients get an automatic email copy of their real signatures on the documents with mine. I get an email copy of all the signed documents with all of our signatures, just like they do, within the first 5 minutes. And in zipForms, the transaction itself, a folder is created within the first 30 seconds of me hitting done, and in this folder are the signed PDF files.
That's cool.
Now, me being in zipForms, I can now email this PDF document, print it on a printer, or do whatever I need to. But here, just real quickly, just to show you the example, there's Sarah Connor's real signature on the document. So now, ideally, behind zipForms Mobile is to strike while the iron's hot, right? Our clients are super excited about making offers. We want to be there in front of them, write up the offer right then and there while it's fresh in their mind, and get their name on the dotted line. This is a listing presentation. They're excited about wanting to list with us. Gosh darn it, we can now go in here. Now, anybody here have a listing presentation? You have a listing presentation. In your listing presentation, when do you say you
I
will
just
list the
did.
property? Same day, next day, 24 hours, 48 hours later?
Like 24.
Okay, guess what? Scratch through that. Why? The moment I get your name on the contract, I can now go immediately into MLS and list your home before I leave this house. Because you need to sell in 30 days or less, time is of the essence for you. So the moment you and I get your name on the dotted line, I can now go into the MLS and list your home before we leave. And guess what you have on your iPad or tablet device? Camera. You only need at least one photo for the listing to get it started. So before your sign goes up, where you break all those rules and regulations, you'll walk outside, you take a picture of the outside, you upload it into your listing. Now you've met the bare minimum requirements for MLS.
Yeah.
The idea behind things like this, and by the way, this is your bread and butter, right? We strike while the iron's hot. We get their names on the dotted lines. We are out there doing what we need to be doing, and that's getting business and getting business done quickly and efficiently. No longer do we need to worry about cooling off periods. No longer do we need to worry about, did I write up the right contracts, and if they're going to do this, and if they're excited, right? That's why they're using us. We're getting things done the way that our clients need them to be done, and that is efficient and quick. Right? Because, hey, this seller who needs to sell their property wants and because the market is hot right now, it's more important for me to make sure that I'm able to service them. Or even better yet, these lovely people want to be able to buy a property. They want to be number one offer, not number 51. Anybody kind of like this?
Yes.
All
This
right.
is awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question is, when I log it in, I don't have the full picture. I only have.
Right, because you're on a phone device. If you're on a tablet device, it'd be able to be bigger. Your phone, turn your phone sideways. You should be able to see even more menu choices. It's just because your screen's too small. Now, on a phone, you can't do touch sign. Why? You can't even do digital link. Why? Because technically, legally, you can't see the contract. You can't read it. So, touch sign is blocked from the phone devices
need a
because
tablet.
it's legally too small for you to legally
Yeah.
read.
Tablet.
Sir,
If you have an iPad or an Android tablet, not a problem.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
so it's
Yes.
better to have a tablet.
It's very awesome to have a tablet
Yeah.
because now we don't have to carry around what, a
Yeah.
5-pound
And the phone is
laptop
too small,
or even a
too.
pound laptop.
Yeah.
The phone is small.
Exactly. Now, this does also require us to have internet access. So yes, we are a slave to that.
Yes.
But at least, we take them out to lunch or wherever. Usually in those restaurants, we can go onto our phones, enable our hotspot, get our tablets to talk to that internet hotspot, and now we have internet access to be able to do things like this. Yes.
I have a point. It's probably away from this, but I have 4 buyers. They have to sign the contract. There is no room on the contract. Are they gonna fix that?
That's when you have other forms like the ASA, the additional signature addendum. Now, the touch sign, sure, I can make their signature super small, so I could be in front of 4 people and have them each individually sign, but it again will be super small because you only have room on the contract for 2. 90% of the cases out there, only 2 people, right?
Yeah, but
Those few cases where there's multiple, use the ASA for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You have to attach that form to the contract.
That will be an extra form that you'll have to add in those cases. Now I usually ask people, do they have it invested in a trust or an LLC? Then all 4 of them, unless no one's been assigned who's allowed to sign for that trust or LLC, you're going to use a different form called the RCSD, Representative Capacity Signature Disclosure, who's allowed to sign for that trust or LLC kind of thing. So ask those questions.
Is that signature line longer?
Not that it's longer, it just says Tina is allowed to sign, like she has to provide me proof, you the agent proof, that she's allowed to sign for that trust or LLC.
Because sometimes like when you're typing up for a trust, it's like this god-awful long
God-awful long
How do
name.
you put that on?
So you'll put it, part of it in the first name, part of it in the middle name, part of it in the last name. Because you're only allowed so many characters for each portion of the name.
Okay.
That's why it's really hard. Really hard. But then when she signs, instead of her signing as
Right.
that name of the trust, hopefully she's Tina Vo trustee, right? So I could change that. If I was doing digital ink or DocuSign, you change it in those name sections. Tina Vo trustee. So middle name, first name, middle name, last name. Last name will be trustee. Or if touch sign, she's just going to sign Tina Vo trustee. TV.
So the ASA stands for?
Huh?
ASA stands for?
ASA stands for Additional Signature Addendum. That one you can say who's the extra signers besides 1 and 2. So 3, 4, 5, I think. And I think 6. So if there was more, then you would add a second one, designating the 7, 8, 9. Which I've seen that once. Right? I think one person said they had 11 different signers, so they had a couple of ASAs.
Don't tell me.
Like I said, I've only heard that once,
All the
but
brothers.
it's happened. They were all investors, but they didn't have a corporation where one designated officer was signing for the corporation. So all of them. And you can't put
That's
11
weird.
signatures in the RPA, right? So who are the main people? And now you've got the ASAs, where it says that these other people are aware of these contracts at the time that they're signing.
So you put 2 on the RPA and the rest on the ASA.
On the ASA. Essentially, that's how it works. Okay? Are there any questions on any of this, y'all? All right. Now, how much of this do y'all remember? Right? We've been talking for about 2 hours. All of it, right?
We have
I didn't see anybody scream or their heads explode. That's a good thing. I don't see any ears bleeding. It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Now, as I said in the beginning, if you were here in the beginning, I don't expect everybody to remember everything that I go over. If you noticed, I have talked a little bit quickly today because we've had to go over a lot of information today, right? So, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to YouTube. If you've never been to YouTube before, go to youtube.com. That's youtube.com. Second largest search engine in the entire world, owned by Google, right? Here, people make videos all day long about everything. So what you want to do a search for my name. Now, my name on YouTube is Tony Bried. Tony.
Tony, on Facebook, are you like Anthony?
Yep.
Okay.
Here, Tony Bried, first name and last name, Bried. You hit search. There, I'm at the top of the list. Tony Bried. I've got 25 videos there. If you tap on my name, you're going to access my video channel. Here, I have a whole list of pre-recorded webinars. Now, the one that pertains to this class is, if we scroll down just a little bit more, hopefully, should be OC Realtors Office on the Go Basics. It's about an hour long. If you go to OC Realtors Office on the Go Basics, that will access what you've gone over today. So we'll go over the MLS, we'll go over Notability, we go over zipForms Mobile, all in about an hour. Beautiful thing about a webinar or pre-recorded webinar, you can watch it a million times as you want. You can fast forward it, pause it, rewind it, watch it on your mobile device, watch it on your computer at home, whatever.
Are
Okay?
your afternoon classes online?
Not yet. I'm working on those. The cybersecurity one especially. I'm hopefully in the next couple of months I'll have that up. But we are doing Facebook on the go, or Facebook Live, Facebook Live, and what I will do is I will take the video from Facebook Live and upload it to the channel, or to my YouTube channel, so that way you can access that. So yes, hopefully in the next couple of days, we'll have that available, or I'll have that available. Also here, I have zipForms 101. That's about an hour and 20 minutes, so if you're new to zipForms, or brand new, that will go over all the bells and whistles of zipForms online. The third one is digital signing documents using either DocuSign or Digital Ink. That one I go over from start to finish. What you send out, what a client goes through using both platforms. That one's about 40 minutes long. So again, feel free to watch all these videos. One also important video, especially those of you who are agents and listing agents, look at the one of how agents can use the CRMLS exclusion form. This one's about 10 minutes long, goes over all the details of the CRMLS exclusion form for keeping your listing out of the MLS, and if you're marketing or not marketing the property as allowed by the seller. That also determines DOM or days on market when you input a listing into the MLS. So please watch that, okay? Are there any other questions?
I cannot find you on here.
Tony Bried?
Yeah.
B-R-I-E-D?
Yeah, I did.
You're in YouTube?
Yeah.
That's not, well, you spelled YouTube wrong. Y-O-U-T-U-B-E.
Oh, okay.
All right. If there are no other questions, thank you all very much for coming by. Hopefully I'll see you this afternoon. There is an evaluation sheet. Please fill in your evaluation sheet. I'd like to see how well or how bad I'm doing because I like to be judged and critiqued, okay?
You are great.
Can you give us a
You are-
quick summary, just to make some bullet points of the next 2 classes you have?
So the next 2 classes, so we're going over cloud storage and cybersecurity at 1:30. So basically the different cloud systems, kind of their pros and cons, how to sign up for a cloud storage system like Dropbox, how to share files from it. Part 2 of that class goes over cybersecurity practices that you should be utilizing because certain things that are required not only by federal and state law, but by your code of ethics, what your responsibilities are to your clients, because clients nowadays are getting really savvy, and when they find out that information was stolen about them from your computer, they're holding you liable. So those are your quick bullet points. That will be at 1:30.
Is that one on YouTube?
Not yet, but hopefully after today's Facebook Live, it will be.
Do you also cover Google Drive?
Yes, that's one of the drive systems that we will talk about today. Third class, we'll go over mobile applications that you can utilize to better your business, like an open house registry, HomeSnap to find properties quickly and easily on the go. And then, of course, we'll talk about listing presentations on your mobile device to make you a little bit more efficient. So we'll have a little
Is that
nice
one
discussion.
on YouTube?
Parts of it, like the listing presentation is, because that one's about an hour long itself. So how to have a listing presentation, or kind of like a basic one to kind of go over if you don't have one made. Kind of give you some starting points and talking points to talk about. And then if I have some time, we'll go over really quick video creating or some apps. But I think in March we do have a video class, I want to say March 5th or 15th, going over how to make video, how to create a schedule, how to create your YouTube channel, things like that.
Do you have that? Do you have what the last part you just described about video and music on
Not,
there?
how to make a video using iMovie? Yes, that's on there too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't
All right.
Thank you very much so much.
Thank you.
Sorry, thank
Nice
you.
meeting you, by the way.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Oh, and I'll take that if
I'm
you
sure
want.
we'll see each other again.
Definitely.
Yeah, I have to start coming.
Please, by all means.
Yeah, it was very helpful. Thank you
Oh,
very
thank
much.
you. Thank you guys very much.
I'm glad I come back to do, to take these classes again because I
good.
forgot them.
Oh, that's good. All right, so we'll see you in about an hour. Bye-bye. So now.